Today we're talking about the 3 email marketing metrics that you've never looked at, and if you focus on improving these, your email marketing will make you a lot more money, be a lot more effective, and retain customers a lot longer. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, drum roll please. Let's reveal statistic number 1. It's going to be flow-specific conversion rates. So here's what I mean by that. You have automations or email flows running in your account, like the welcome series, the browse abandonment flow, and abandoned cart flow. And people will always look at like how much revenues each flow bring in, but very, rarely will brand owners look at the conversion rate of the entire flow. Every single week for every single client we work with, we're looking at the conversion rate of all those core flows. And by conversion rate, I mean out of everybody in that time period that entered that flow, how many of them bought at any point within the flow, attributed to the email and SMS flow itself. So for example's sake, let's say we had 100 people come into the abandoned cart flow. 7 bought in email 1, 4 bought in email 2, and then like 3 bought in email 3, and let's say you only had 3 emails here. So if my math doesn't fail me, that is 14 people who bought within the flow. So 14 people divided by the 100 that entered the flow, it's a 14% conversion rate. That's an example of the statistic that we want to know here. Because if we see that conversion rate start slipping down to like sub 5%, we know like there's something wrong. We need to do some more split testing. We got to try some new stuff. But if you don't track these metrics on a daily or on a weekly basis, you're not even going to know like where you're at. How is it trending? Is it trending up or down? All you're looking at is the revenue that Klaviyo tells you in the dashboard. And you can also have a lot more confidence when it comes to getting traffic on your site when you know that if people abandon at the cart level or the checkout level, for example, we know we're going to convert on average this percent of them. All right, moving on to metric or statistic number 2. Boom, it's gonna be repurchase rate or the average time between first and second purchases. So there's kind of like 2 different stats mixed into one here. So repurchase rate in simple terms is essentially what percentage of your buyers buy more than once. This is huge, especially when it comes to acquiring buyers for your brand. Because if you're acquiring buyers through paid ads, SEO, whatever it is, you need to know out of all those buyers that come in, what percentage of them are going to continue buying into the future. This is also going to depend on the nature of your products. Some products like supplements, consumables, whatever, are supposed to be purchased on like a monthly basis at almost, sometimes like 60, 90 days, whatever it is. If you're selling a product that's more of just like a one-time thing, it's going to look different for you. So then the other aspect of it that we want to consider is the average amount of time between that first purchase and the second purchase. Because once you know this, you can now map out within your email strategy, how can we shrink that down so that it goes from taking 60 days for them to make that first purchase to the second purchase to only taking like 35 days, for example. That right there would be a huge needle mover because you've now significantly shrunk down the amount of time it takes to get that new revenue coming in from the people that already purchased in the past. I really like this one as well because it's a great example of like that layer 2 metric that very few brands are like constantly looking at. But when you know these types of numbers and you're looking at them on a weekly, monthly basis, whatever it is, you kind of get a sense of how good is your retention marketing actually working and performing. All right, statistic number 3 that you're not tracking right now that you should be. Order volume from email and SMS and the AOV from email and SMS. So common times, including me, you'll see, email marketing teams flex how much of the total revenue from the store is coming from the email and SMS. And that's great, but it's kind of ignoring what's more important, like what we actually care about, which is how many orders were driven from the email and SMS. And then as a result of that, what was the AOV from email and SMS? For example, we just started tracking this for one of our clients, and we found that the AOV from email and SMS was 20% higher than the AOV that they were getting on the website. And by on the website, I just mean people that were buying like in general, not just exclusively from email and SMS. And that's to be expected because in email and SMS, you're building a lot more trust, you're giving a lot more education. It's a lot easier for someone to spend more money when they already have built up that trust on the email list. This is exactly why we want as many people to join the email list as possible because they spend more, they spend longer, and they spend more times. Additionally, when you're tracking these metrics on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, you can see, how was our order volume from email and SMS compared to our total order volume, back in May? And now moving into August, how's it looking now? What have we done to change that? What have we done to decrease that? What's actually happening? What are these trends? But without tracking this, you'll never actually know, are we doing well? How much is email contributing? And when people buy from email, how much are they spending relative to what they spend if they're not coming from email and SMS? Without knowing these numbers, it's really hard to make decisions in terms of your retention marketing or your acquisition marketing as well. So as a general takeaway here, the main thing I want you to take from this video is start tracking these types of metrics that are really important and take the ones that are most specific to your business specifically. Track them every week, have your tech guy go in and pull a report, and just at the end of every week, just sit down and look at this stuff. Me and each of my project managers, every single week, we sit on Zoom, we screen share all clients' data live. We look at what's doing well, what's not doing well, what do we want to improve. And then based on that data, we can pull a specific optimization that we want to work on for the next 30-ish days. It's the best way to continuously drive the account upward, improve conversion rates, and overall improve the productivity of your email and SMS marketing. So with that being said, hope you found this one valuable. If you want help building your emails, I'm gonna leave our full plug and play AI prompting guide for email angle creation, email copywriting, and email design assets in the top link in the description. It's fully plug and play. It'll really help you generate stuff for your email marketing and SMS marketing. So once again, that's top link in the description. And if you want my full course in email and SMS, that's gonna be popping up on the screen right here. But at the very least, if you have any questions, drop those in the comments, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.